Alrighty, what is up guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. What I want to talk about today is a little bit like where we are kind of in the cycle and why this could be, if history kind of repeats here in the 4-year cycle, why this could be kind of the last chance to really get into crypto in general for the cycle to make those, really big gains. I wanted to, talk about some of the trades. I obviously buy altcoins, buy stuff kind of following the 4-year cycle for longer term too, as well as do trading as well. This is the latest trade I was in, the ETH long right here, which was first one was stopped out and the second one made up for that. So really good risk reward ratio with that. And really transparent with the entries, stop losses, take profits in the Discord here. A lot of people have really liked the Discord. We also got Nightshade and KMac in Discord as well, providing a lot of really good analysis and trade setups there. So if you guys are interested, link in description below for that. Really reasonably priced. If you guys want one free month in Discord, if you sign up to any exchanges down below, FAIRDESK, BloFin, or Bybit, down below and deposit at least $100, I'll give you one free month in Discord. Just go to the support ticket channel right here and open a ticket. Also, there's a Discord discount, if you want to pay in crypto. Details are in this tab here. Link is down below. BloFin, there's a really good promo right now where you deposit $100, and if you lose that, they give you a $100 rebate back, so you could try again. Also, Bybit has a good airdrop, I believe. Still, you could deposit $100 and get a $500 airdrop. I think that's still going on. So check it out down below if you guys are interested. So, let's just start off with the kind of the 4-year cycle here. What I want to talk about is kind of, the last two times we were, actually, I just want to open a new tab real quick here. So let's go to Bitcoin all-time history index, or actually Bitcoin versus DXY. Yeah, this is what we've been talking about quite a bit on this channel. This is an important one we really want to talk about. So this is kind of where we are in the 4-year cycle. August of 2016, September of 2020, almost in September now, about 5 days to get there. That was where I circled kind of your new all-time high, which was December of 2020. So generally, if we look at the 4-year cycle, where we are right now in the 4-year cycle in 2016, this is kind of the last time to kind of get in before that parabolic run up. I mean, sure, you missed a little bit over here, but your real juiciness happened over there. That's really what happened there. That was the meat and potatoes of this run, and that's obviously where all the altcoins were crazy towards the end of this too. Life-changing gains. A lot of these in the same situation kind of here after September, October of 2020. I believe, if I remember correctly, we did get a drop down in Thanksgiving around that time, but it just looks like kind of nothing when you look at, I think it was back down to 16K or something. Then he kind of continued forward. So based on that, this is really the point. This is really the kind of, this is not financial advice. It could be different this time. I don't have no crystal ball. I wish I did, but if you're going to do a lump sum into crypto, this usually makes the most sense to do it. If you're DCAing, the DCA would make sense to probably go until kind of end of year or until the second Fed rate cut in November. There's an article on CNBC talking about how they may do a 50 basis point rate cut in September. I think the more you see of that, and if you see a lot of articles like that, and then we get a 25 basis point rate cut, I think that's what could kind of, bring us down a little bit, kind of how we had that Thanksgiving drawdown in 2020, or, I don't think it's going to be too bad, but potentially, bringing us back down to like, 58, 60K. So we come up to like 72, 73 again or something, daring, playing around with that all-time high, and then maybe reject back to 60. Yeah, something like that. I mean, who knows? Maybe even a higher low at 52 or something. That would not surprise me at all. If you did some situation like here, everybody's a little bit excited right now, then you come back down to this area in October after that first rate cut, or like I mentioned, all the way down there. That is absolutely possible. And it's, a big rally upward, that consolidation could last for a couple months more. That's what I'm kind of looking at. The other reason that we should be, looking at potentially the last chance to kind of get into this market is because if you look here, when we bottomed out for Bitcoin dominance, I'm just curious, the first, in February, it was around, topping December 2016 there for Bitcoin dominance. So same area, February 2017, this was December 2020. So, according to this, your December area, you got it twice in December. So a couple months from now, maybe that, that high in December. Now, okay, that would just tell us probably a lot of altcoins will continue to bleed against Bitcoin until December, potentially. Some of them may have already bottomed. It depends, but they could, when it goes down quickly. I mean, look at right there. When it goes down quickly. Look at right there. Yeah, that one and then that one. I mean, if you're basing this off diminished returns for decline of or higher lows for Bitcoin dominance, you'd probably come up here or something. I don't know, low 60s maybe, and then I would say you got a good shot of getting at least down to like 45, 44 in mid to late 25. That would probably be the place where you'd start to, ease off the pedal a little bit. And even if you're looking at rate cuts too, that's probably when the Fed will probably be gradually decreasing rates until mid to late 25, I would guess, at least by the odds. ETH versus Bitcoin, it's hard to say here, but just keep in mind, that you looked at this low in September of 2019, you made a higher low in January. So, I mean, if it's like 2019, this is different. And it bottomed out earlier, against Bitcoin in this kind of, cycle here, a lot earlier. But that low there, maybe make a higher low or lower low, towards the end of this year. That's what I'm kind of looking at. So, look, it could bleed a bit more against Bitcoin. It wouldn't surprise me. We probably need more than just one rate cut to really, start the crazy incline against Bitcoin for Ethereum. But just, when it goes up, it could go up relatively quickly here, especially if you compare it to December of 2016. Look at that, relatively quickly. Now, you do get diminished returns against Bitcoin, it looks like a little bit. You had this one, and then this was like freaking half of that one. So if we look at, let's take about half of that one. Made a higher high, but maybe, about 0.1 against Bitcoin would be my kind of estimate here over the next, year or so, year to year and a half, 100% incline against Bitcoin, maybe even more, maybe 200, maybe 300, we'll see. So yeah, let's get more into like a little bit of the lower, a little bit of these lower time frames, a little bit, trigger waves and such here, trigger wave form on the weekly, that's good. I think still very bullish in the macro, two-day coming up with money flow. That's pretty good. Daily doesn't look like anything too bad. You may get the anchor wave, throw a wrench into this a little bit. Maybe you come up a little bit more and then you come back down here. I think we could be choppy, maybe until the kind of rate cut. This, it could come. It's hard to say exactly. We're looking at a Sunday right now, but money flow coming down on some of these. It still looks good in the 4 hour. Still looks good in the 2-day. You may be able to jump up to 65 something. But yeah, potentially trying to jump up a little bit more there. Reverse head and shoulder situation. I would guess you may have another go at 65 or something. Maybe punish all the people trying to short. 65.5 is a huge area, with that spiral line. You are playing around with a linear spiral line. Those aren't as powerful in my opinion. I would guess you could jump up to this point before you start to decline significantly here. So that's what I'm kind of looking at the moment for Bitcoin. And then, just to reiterate what I was talking about, if we look at the daily, my guess, you'd probably get at least 70, I think, by mid-September, by that first rate cut, and then potentially coming back down to 60 or even back down to 52 here. That's my kind of guess at the moment. Ethereum, similar situation. Gapped RSIs here, it does look maybe slightly worse than Bitcoin at the moment on some of those lower time frames. But on the large ones, similar. Just thinking here, money flow, trying to come up here. Yeah, it's hard to exactly say, like I mentioned on Bitcoin, but I think you could get another, jump up a little bit more here in the short term than potentially maybe reject back down that spiral line. For Ethereum, I think you could have a little bit of a hurrah, potentially. I don't know, it almost seems too good to be true, 3K, but maybe buy that rate cut or something, 3,100, 3K, bounce around a little bit or continue forward generally until that time. That would outperform Bitcoin by a lot if we were to do that, though. That's 12% incline. What would that be for Bitcoin if we just come up to, 12? Well, no, it's about 12%. I didn't realize it looked like more on. Yeah, around the same, actually. I didn't realize that. Okay. So here to here, around 71, 72K for Bitcoin, between 70 to 72K for Bitcoin, 31K or 3,100 for Ethereum. So that's what we could be looking at, into September. Moving on to Solana, which is, big powerhouse, obviously. You know, gap tower size, trigger wave on the 4 hour. A lot of good stuff here. I think you got a good shot at potentially, you know, you probably bounce around maybe up here, bounce around this or something, and then maybe getting back up to 187 by rate cut, you know, by that FOMC meeting potentially. That's a huge area though. If we look at, yeah, that area, I don't think you're going to make a new, you know, new yearly high just yet there. My guess, you get up to that point and then you know, come back down. It probably would take longer than that, but let's say you get to that point by around the rate cut, and then you come back down in October, back down to 149 or even 139, you know, 150 to 140 potentially there, and then you're kind of home free to, you know, generally continue this run, a little bit more consolidation. I mean, you've been consolidating for essentially since March, you know, you've been kind of sideways since March, so I mean, generally, I think this is, you know, how many months? April is the 8th month. You know, we're almost in September now, 9 to 3. So it's been 6 months of just generally range bound for, you know, for Solana. Who's to say we can't be range bound for another couple months and then into the end of the year, early next year, we, you know, kind of come up. And the other thing I wanted to mention here is that when you look at, you know, just some of the OG coins, comparing it to, you know, where they bottomed out against Bitcoin, or just where they bottomed out in general in the 4-year cycle. You look at Litecoin, which has been around forever, freaking 2013, but this is March of 2017 it bottomed out against Bitcoin. Now, if we look at just Litecoin, you know, in general here, where did it exactly bottom out? It was December of 2016. December of 2016. You had your first low in August and December. So I guess you could generally stay a little bit more bearish, choppy. You know, I would think it would just be a range bound situation, potentially up until December, maybe up until December. If there's, you know, we'll see what happens. Some people think Trump's going to win. You know, that could be a very close election. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, you know, it could take some time. I mean, you look at XRP here. This is January 27, that wick down. I mean, if you don't count that wick, we bottomed out in November actually of 2015, but August of 2016 you did have that drop down, and yeah, double bottom situation in early 2017. So yeah, I mean, it's not impossible for a lot of this market to stay boring until early 2025 potentially, and then continue forward. But I would estimate 2 rate cuts. If you see another rate cut before the end of the year, that probably will help things out a bit. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. I mean, XRP, say what you want about it. Trigger wave on the monthly. I mean, I think this could continue. I think we could get up to $1 sometime, you know, early next year. I would hope, and then hopefully continuing forward. But XRP just generally makes the lower lows. A couple of the ones we were looking at on Paul Barron Network when I was on that on the channel the other day. Shout out to Paul Barron. You know, flow looks really good. A lot of like last chance things. I mean, assuming it's kind of a last chance thing, assuming we shoot up to here, but you know, maybe you consolidate a bit into, you know, November or December or something, more of a sideways situation like here, and then you kind of jump up. So, you know, that's definitely possible to do that. You know, absolutely possible to do that. But I really like the bull div here, and I think this will continue forward on optimism. Flow is another one. It looks generally the same. Same thing could be said. It looks good. You know, it looks like a good buy. A lot of these could, you know, 500%. If they make new all-time highs, you could be looking at potential 10x's. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely have to see what happens. Just to look briefly, you know, a little intermission here. I was just curious about 30-year treasury. I mean, I think that would generally, you know, continue downward. Money flow looks more bearish there, but it could be choppy at least until the next FOMC meeting in September. AVAX, one of my favorite coins. I mean, you know, let's see. Anchor wave on the weekly really pumping up here on a lot of these. You know, money flow trying to come into the green. So I generally think you would continue forward. Not impossible though to have a, you know, a drop back to this $25 area right there, that kind of $24-25 pocket right there, which maybe it's kind of hard to really estimate this, but you know, back there and then into FOMC meeting, you come up to 30, excite some people, and then you come back down, you know, consolidation or whatever. Maybe you come back down to 20, maybe worst case scenario. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's hard to say whether this rally just keeps going crazy and going up, but I think you'd see more consolidation, slow increases. The Andrew Tate meme coin. That's getting a little bit of a jump here, right? Then a rejection. I don't know. Risky business, risky business. Who knows? Big following. Got arrested again or whatever. Got his Lambos taken. Maybe they'll help it out. I have no idea. ApeCoin getting to be a gambling addiction with this. I'm just kidding. But risky business, trying to hold this area, potentially continuing forward. Nice jump up to 80 cents, now back down to 73. Maybe getting back up to $1. That's a big place we want to, come back up to and hold $1 to have a chance with ApeCoin right there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, just to reiterate here what I'm kind of looking at, hopefully trying to jump up a little bit more in the short term. That's what I would kind of summarize for the short term. But tomorrow morning, once traditional markets open, going to be more clear for some trade entries that I will most likely post in the Discord tomorrow. If you guys are interested in that, check out the link below. If you guys are interested in trading, BloFin, FAIRDESK, Bybit, all great exchanges to use down below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one. Goodbye.